What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and break down some major news that came out from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Elon Musk, as we have a major update from him that's going to be very important for the markets, for the future of the stock market, the economy, and Tesla stock going forward. Now, before I break down why on earth I think what Elon Musk said is so big for the markets and Tesla, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting real quick. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed up to 10 free stocks, each worth up to $2,500. And you could always sell these 10 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla shares for free. This is a limited time offer. It ends in just one day, so please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, this thing was up 5.79% for the day on Friday, and the next key resistance level will be around that $900 range. So this thing did rally really hard. It's looking pretty strong, but there is something that I want to talk about that's very important. All right. So now a lot of investors left and right in the market, they're becoming very, very bullish right now. The markets are getting excited. They're seeing markets just push up very, very hard. If you look at futures and so on and so forth. And we see lots of analysts out there, such as Tom Lee, saying that the 2022 bear market is over. He believes that stocks can hit new highs before the year ends. So I wanted to give my opinion on this, and he may be saying this in reference to something Musk actually stated. So Elon Musk actually stated this. Elon Musk sees inflation trending down based off what's happening to commodity prices. He also mentioned that we may have actually seen the peak already. So that's actually a very good sign for the markets. And I want to talk about the factors that may actually affect how the markets really move for the future based off this. So Musk is now saying that he thinks inflation is starting to trend down based off commodity prices. That's a good sign for the markets. If we look at historical data, this is what happens during these recessions, during the bear markets. We tend to see the market take a bit of a hit like this. And we would currently be like around here, and we are starting to push up despite the news about the recession and so on and so forth. But what I found very interesting is, if I actually bring up the numbers again, I'm not going to do it in this video, I did it before already, but if you look at like Amazon and Apple and a lot of these big tech stock companies, many people expected earnings to not be that great because of the recessionary fears. But what happened was they did very well on earnings, especially earnings per share. So what generally happens during a recession is we see a big change in demand in markets, and earnings per share are what get effective. And when that happens, that's what typically leads to a lot more downfall in the markets. And that's not what we're seeing so far. So it's looking like we're seeing a growth recession, a very unusual one, right? Where we're still seeing growth. It's slowing down, but it's not slowing down to the point where we're in total economic stagflation as of right now. So as of right now, that's what it's looking like. But the thing is, the future of the market is still going to see some more changes that need to be kind of accounted for, because there is the risk of unemployment going up. And if we look at the real estate market, you could see the supply keeps going up and up and up once again. And this is very important because the demand in the real estate market is kind of changing. It's shifting due to the fact that Americans are not as interested in getting these mortgages as before. So because there's this shift, it could lead to more economic effects going forward, and they tend to happen slowly. Now, what happened in the stock market was the stock market took a hit very early. I actually go look at the SPY. Where is it? I have it somewhere here. It's right here. Sorry about that. If you go on the daily chart of the SPY started dropping as early as December. I'm sorry, maybe December, maybe around January, around there. And what happened was the big banks, big institutions, they knew the Fed was going to start raising rates. They knew they had to because inflation was just going through the roof. So they essentially started pricing it in very early. And this could be the sign of an earlier than expected recovery. Now, are we ready to start recovering just yet? The answer is, in my personal opinion, I think that the market does have room to push up more, but I don't think we're ready to start the full-on recovery just yet. But I do think, and this is where the Elon Musk part comes in, I do think based off what Musk said, we are going to get a faster than expected recovery. Now, does that mean we're going to break all-time highs this year? I'm not sure about that, and I still think that's kind of unlikely. I think all-time highs are going to come maybe early next year. But based off what we're seeing from the markets, when we look at the data, right, PCE came out a little bit high for June when you exclude food and energy, but it does look like it's going to start downtrending, and this is why the market was not affected by this, because the market knew this data was from June, and for July we're starting to see gas prices go down. We're starting to see inflation kind of cool off a bit, especially for many commodity prices. So this is some relief we're starting to see. And as Elon Musk stated, it could be the start of a downtrend for inflation. This doesn't mean that every single report is going to be perfectly, showing a downtrend, but what this shows is that the trend is going to be down, right? This doesn't mean like every month we're going to get lower inflation month after month after month, but as long as the trend shows a downtrend, that's where the improvement will come. If you look at what's happening with the CPI report, and I showed PCE first because Jerome Powell mentioned in his personal opinion, you could actually disagree with him on this, but he thinks that PCE tends to be more accurate than CPI. Once again, that's very contentious. But if we look at the data, right, look at CPI, it was going up and up as early as the end of 2021. Up until 2022, it just kept going up and up. It started to slow down a little bit around, I think that's like May or something. And then all of a sudden, by the time we get to July, boom, it just goes to the high of 9.1%. The market did not respond as negatively to this because this came out in July for the month of June. But as July is still going on, it's about to end, we're actually seeing it once again subside. We're seeing inflation starting to slow down. So what could happen, and this is something that Jerome Powell mentioned, demand is getting shifted in the markets much faster, and it may happen really fast. So if we do start to see inflation cool off much quicker than expected, which is actually a possibility, I don't want to guarantee it, but it is a possibility. This could lead to the market recovering sooner than a lot of people expect. So what do I think the market could actually look like? I'm starting to think that, see how they're like these three different perspectives of what the market looks like. I think the blue one right here is the S&P 500 today. And the median line is when there's like no recession. And then the black line right here is when there is a recession. This is the median data from a percentage basis and change relative to the market median prices since 1929. And you can see the trend tends to be very similar. And I really believe that the true bottom, we may have come close to it actually. I don't know if we actually saw the bottom yet, and that there is, going to be more room for downside. But I do believe we are going to see more downside in the future. But the recovery part is going to happen much sooner than a lot of people expect. And I do believe the market could actually, if Elon Musk is not just correct, like as of right now, maybe he's not like referring to like the entire year, maybe he is, but if we see inflation downtrend and it continues up until the end of the year, the markets, the collective market could start recovering in maybe like Q4. By the time we get to like, I don't know, I would say like Thanksgiving to Christmas time, that's when the market could actually start to rally. That's when the true bottom will be priced in. That's when things are going to start recovering. And when it comes to all-time highs, I don't think it's going to happen that quickly. I think what could end up happening is in a high inflationary environment, when the federal funds rate goes up, the cost to borrow goes up, demand in the market slows down. So we might see the market kind of consolidate and trade a little sideways for a couple of months before it starts to push up. So it may not be until maybe, I would say early next year, in my opinion, by the time we get to the all-time highs, maybe by sometime like February, March, the later months like that, maybe April, maybe during that time. I think it's going to take a little bit longer to get to those all-time highs. But besides that, I think the recovery phase could actually start much sooner than some people would expect. So that's just my opinion as of right now. And I still feel this way because when you look at the markets, I know this is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. It's the truth though. The SPY still has these gaps down here, right? The SPY has a gap at 391. I think there's another one up here somewhere. There's another one at 382. There's another one all the way down here at around 378. Another one all the way down here in the 360 range. So it's very likely the SPY is going to come back down again, unfortunately. It does look like that. And if the SPY is going to come down, I mean, the same thing is happening to Tesla. Unfortunately, it's great to see Tesla rally. We love the company, but Tesla does have these gaps down here. It has one at 776, has another one all the way down here at 748. And I think that's the bottom one, but it does have more room to come down to the low 700s again in the future. So to make the claim that the market's going to go to all-time highs this year, I mean, it's possible. I just think it's a little bit unlikely. I think what's going to happen to the markets is maybe the markets have more room for upside for the next few weeks, but by the time we start approaching maybe September, the next FOMC meeting, the markets are probably going to start getting hit again. Tesla's probably going to start filling these gaps. It's going to come right back down. And during that time frame, I think we could see a lot of sideways action for a couple of months before we see a nice recovery towards the end of this year. And by the time, this thing starts pushing up, it may take a couple of months to actually get to all-time highs. I mean, maybe as soon as like February, March, or April. I mean, that's just kind of like the earliest I'm seeing it. And like I said before, I mean, that's not that far away. You just have to be patient. And I still believe that 2023 is going to be a great year for the markets. I think it's going to be much better than this year. I really believe that. And really, based off what Musk is saying, the markets are very future looking. So, the recovery, by the time we start recovering, it could be much sooner than some people think, right? So the market's doing much better, in my opinion. I do think it has some room for downside in the future. And once that downside comes, it could be the last major dip before the market starts to get ready to not just consolidate, get used to the prices, and slowly start an uptrend and a recovery much sooner than some people think. So in this video, I just wanted to give you guys an estimate of when, the recovery may actually start, which I believe would be around maybe like Q4 of this year. All-time highs, I mean, I don't know when all-time highs are going to come for the markets. I don't think it's going to come this year. I think maybe early next year. That's just my personal opinion. And as long as inflation starts to go down, that's going to be the big catalyst for the markets to improve. And Elon Musk said it himself. He does think inflation is going to start downtrending. So that could be very huge for the markets. With that said, I know it's great to see the markets rally, but don't really get trapped, okay? The big market makers, they like to trick you. They want you to think the market's going to go to all-time highs now, right? They're traps. But you can't forget the gaps. You can't forget other potential catalysts that may push the market down, because there are lots of global tensions that are going on. And I don't want you to become too comfortable in this zone just yet. We have to remain objective. We have to remain intelligent, and we cannot let our emotions get the best of us. So once again, just to clarify this, the market may rally for another few weeks. I do see it coming back down, though, in the future. I don't know if the bottom was already found yet. It may have not been found for Tesla. It may have already been, shown. But if inflation is starting to go down, I do anticipate a recovery to start by the time we get to maybe like Q4. And up until that point, the market could trade a little sideways and maybe start the full-on recovery, start to rally towards the end of this year. Maybe get to all-time highs sometime early next year. That's really how I'm seeing it. Just my estimate based off historical data, which I was showing you here, and based off what trends are showing. And the market's very future looking. So it did start to drop quickly, so it should start to recover a lot sooner than some people are thinking. That's just my opinion. I really believe 2023 is going to be a much better year. Tesla has the Cybertruck coming out. It's going to be awesome. And that's essentially what I have for this video. So I hope I brought some value into your guys' lives. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. And Elon Musk may be correct about the claim he made. He probably is. So get ready. The future's bright. I think the next few months are going to be a lot better for the markets. So get ready, right? The end of the year is going to be much better too. Stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. With that said and done, Tesla to the moon, because the long-term future is bright, and peace out.